Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Shirani. Today I'm going to show you how to make cassava tortillas. Okay, for this recipe I'm using frozen cassava or yuca, and I'm not measuring this, I'm just making how much I want to eat. Pour enough water in a pot to cover your cassava, and then you're going to add some salt to it. Now if you don't want to add salt, you don't have to, but I'm adding a teaspoon of salt. Bring this to a boil and cook this over medium heat for 25 minutes or until your cassava is soft. To see if your cassava is ready, just take a fork and poke it through the cassava, and if it's soft, then it's done. Take them out of the pot and set them on a plate to cool off a bit. I like using frozen cassava because I never have luck with the fresh cassava. A lot of the times they're not good, so I just prefer to buy the frozen ones. Set your cassava aside for 10 to 15 minutes, just so it's not so hot when you're handling it. Okay, so you're going to need a bag or plastic to roll out your tortilla, and I like using a quart-size zipper bag and cut that and use it. The way I like to do it is cut off the top of the bag and then cut both sides down and just leave the bottom part attached. Okay, now it's time to mash the cassava. So when I do this, I like to pick out the softest ones. Not all of them are going to be soft, so like this one here, when you press it, it just feels hard, so that's not a good one to use. I prefer the softer ones, so just go through it and pick out the softest ones. Those are still good to eat if you just want to eat some cassava on the side of whatever you're eating, or you want to make some fried cassava. You can use the harder pieces, but for this I prefer the softer pieces. Before you mash your cassava, you want to take out that long vein from the middle. You don't need that, so just take that out and then mash them. The reason you want to do this when it's warm is because it's easier to mash. If this is really cold, like say you put this in the fridge and take it out, it's going to be hard to mash. So a good tip for you, if you do that, just pop it in the microwave and let them get soft and then mash them. The reason I like to add salt in mine too is because if I make a big batch of boiled cassava and I don't want to make tortilla with all of it, but then it will still be good to just eat on its own. Now that you mash all the cassava with the fork, you're going to take your hand and mash the cassava, kind of like you're kneading it. I like to do this on the counter because I feel like it's easier to handle on the counter, and then just put it back on the plate a few times just to get everything off and then back on the counter. This will take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes depending on how much you're doing. So when you roll this out, it's like you're pressing it and mashing it with your hands. You're just trying to get it as smooth as possible. Remember, you don't need to add anything to this. At first, it's going to look like it's not going to stick together, but trust me, it will stick together and it's going to look smooth like this. As you can see, this is not sticky at all. It's not going to stick to your counter, so don't worry about that. Cut this into equal pieces. Now this is totally up to you on how big you want your tortilla to be. I like to make it the size of a corn tortilla, that's how I like it. But if you want it bigger, make it bigger. This is up to you on how you want your tortilla. Roll it a few times in your hands to make a ball. I didn't use all the cassava that I boiled. I wanted to save some for another dish. To roll out the dough, you're going to take your plastic and open it and set one piece of the dough on one side and then take the other piece of plastic and cover it. I like to use a rolling pin to roll it out. I feel like that works best. And you're just going to roll this and keep turning it, roll it and keep turning it until you reach the size you want. And I like to roll it as thin as possible. Try to make it as round as possible too, although mine is not that round, but hey, that's the best I could do. While you're rolling out your tortilla, you can go ahead and preheat your frying pan or comal or whatever you're using to make your tortilla on. Usually I would just cut one bag, so while one of my tortilla is baking, then I just go ahead and roll out the other one. But for the sake of this video, I went ahead and cut 2 bags just to make it easier to fill in. By the way, I have my pan set over medium-high heat. As you can see, it's not sticking on a bag or anything, so I like that. And you're going to let this cook for 30 seconds on one side. Just checking it here to see how it's looking. After the 30 seconds is up, you're going to flip it over and cook it another 30 seconds. Flip it over one more time and cook it 30 seconds more. That's all you need, and you're going to see it swells up. Oh my gosh, that's the best part. I love when that happens. Try not to burst that bubble when you see it, because if you do that with your hands, you're going to get burned. I couldn't wait any longer to tear one open and show you what it looks like. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Like, you don't know how happy I am. I love cassava. I love everything about cassava. And now to make cassava tortilla. Just one ingredient. You can't get any better than that. Now, if you know anything about flour tortilla or corn tortilla, with this one the texture is a little bit different. This one is a little bit more gummy. But that don't bother me at all. I just love that I'm eating cassava tortilla. When I do this, I'm always thinking of ways to make it easier to press out. So I have 2 tortilla press that I use when I make corn tortilla. And I wanted to show you what it looks like if you're using a tortilla press. To me, it doesn't work the same, and it makes it uneven, so I prefer to use the rolling pin. Another thing I wanted to mention, so when you have your dough sitting out like this, it's going to get dry. It's going to be harder to roll out. You can still roll it out, but it will feel like it's getting harder to roll out. So a good tip is to just put it in the microwave for 15 seconds and it will soften it and it will be easy to roll out. You will have no problem at all. With this one, it felt like it was going to break the tortilla press, so this one is definitely a no-no. The other one might work, but this one, no. You have no idea how excited I am to share this with you because this is not something I grew up eating. We don't make cassava tortilla, but oh my gosh, this is just the best thing. I can't wait for people back home to see this recipe and make it because they're going to love it. We all love cassava. Ever since I discovered cassava tortilla, I've been eating it like it's going out of style. I've been making this really good breakfast taco or quesadilla with it, where I put egg and cheese and crisp it up. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see how I make it. Also, let me know in the comments, have you tried cassava tortilla? How do you make your cassava, or how do you like to eat yours? With these tortillas, they are going to stick together a little bit, but that's not a problem, just peel it off. But the way I like to store it is to just let it cool down completely and then put a piece of wax paper between each one and put it in a bag and put it in the fridge. Every day I take out one and make my little breakfast burrito / quesadilla. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you give it a try. If you do, please come back and let me know what you think. As always, thank you so much for watching and I'll talk to you in my next one. Take care. Bye.